Hi everyone, welcome to USCIS Green Card today with the Visa Bulletin update for February 2026. And I'm happy to say that this video is sponsored by Carnegie Evaluations, a leading company in the credential evaluation space. More on that later. Hey, as you know, my name is Oscar, I'm not a lawyer, and in this channel we talk about green cards like EB-2NAW or EB-1A, in which you can be the owner of your immigration future because you can do it without a sponsor, without having a company backing you up, and also without necessarily having to hire a lawyer, saving thousands of dollars. We speak from our experience and also from the official USCIS information. And you can go to oscarsgreencard.com where we have a lot of resources, including our specialized courses. But today, let's talk about the Visa Bulletin because once a month we meet here to discuss what changes or not the Visa Bulletin brings. And why is this important? Because the Visa Bulletin really dictates if you can continue and finish your green card process if there is a visa number available for you or not. Remember that the green card system in the US is a quota-based system. There are a certain number of green cards that they can give every year, about 140,000 for employment-based categories, and then we have a certain number for different countries and also based on the categories. Today we're going to look at the Visa Bulletin, see if something has changed. Spoiler alert, not much. And we're going to talk about how this can affect you. But first, how can you find the Visa Bulletin? Well, you go to Google and you Google Visa Bulletin and you will find a website like this one that you have on the screen where you see the current Visa Bulletin on the left side and the upcoming Visa Bulletin on the right side. We never know when the upcoming Visa Bulletin is released. Today is the 12th of the month. Sometimes it happens earlier, sometimes it happens later, but we're going to open both of them and we're going to compare them. Again, this particular video, we're going to see that there's no action happening, which sometimes is good, it's better than a retrogression, which we will describe in a second. But let's open them and go directly to employment-based categories because in this channel we focus on employment-based green cards, especially EB1 and EB2. Let's recap on what was happening in Table A in January. Well, first of all, what is Table A? Table A is the most important table because this is really the table that dictates if you can finish the process or not, if there is a visa number available for you. It doesn't matter if you are abroad doing consular processing or inside the US doing an adjustment of status. Table A really dictates the end of the process for you. If you are not current based on Table A, you will not be called for an interview. So you have to compare your priority date, the date you filed your I-140 in EB-2NAW or EB-1A, with the date that you will see in the table. Your priority date must be earlier than the date shown on the table. If that's not the case, you have to wait until a Visa Bulletin fulfills that. Then we're going to talk a little bit about Table B because sometimes it's important. But let's start with Table A. So in the first category, Table A in January, we already know this, it was current, and that is the case for EB1 most of the times, except China that had a date of February 23 and India that had a date of February 23 as well. Both of them had advanced in January, which was good news. January was a really good month for the Visa Bulletin. So in February, what we see is that there's no change in EB1, which includes EB1A. We again have current for most countries and February 2023 for both China and India. No movement whatsoever. If we look at Table A EB2, which includes EB-2NAW, we had a date of April 2024 for most countries in EB2, and now we have exactly the same date of April 2024 in EB2. China had a date of September 2021 and India July 2013, and again the dates are frozen also in that case. We don't really talk much about EB3, but I noticed that there is change here. We had a date of April 23 and now it moves to June 23, so a little bit of movement forward for that category. And other workers are still the same, and EB4 is still the same, and now religious workers within EB4 becomes unavailable next month, probably because they run out of visas. Later we can see if there's a note on that. But again, we don't really focus on that in this channel. And I know some of you become a little bit annoyed, but we really focus on EB1 and EB2. So what we're seeing is at least Table A is frozen. In a second, we're going to take a look at Table B and talk about why Table B may or may not be important. And yes, these news are not great because we always want the Visa Bulletin to advance, to move forward. The dates moving forward is good news. However, given that we have seen few months already where we see good news, dates moving forward, it's actually not surprising that they are now frozen. And it is better news than if the agency suddenly realized that they went too fast, they went too far, and they have to retrogress. That's a USCIS terms that means that they move the dates backwards, which is terrible news. Not moving is not great news because we move 1 month in real life and the tables are stuck. However, sometimes it's not horrible news because we could have seen retrogression as well, and we shouldn't ever discard it. We have to be ready also for some retrogression sometimes. It's not unheard of. So in a second, we're going to discuss Table B, but first, let's talk about our sponsor today, Carnegie Evaluations. Carnegie Evaluations is a company that specializes in credential evaluations for immigration. In EB2NIW, you must provide proof of both your achievements and of the importance of your proposed endeavor. Here is where independent expert opinion letters are so helpful to have. And Carnegie can connect you with an expert in your field because they work with people from over 100 disciplines. We have collaborated with Carnegie Evaluations in our courses for over 2 years because we value the quality and the speed of their work. Use the QR code on the screen or the link in the description below to get more information on their services. Carnegie and their experts can provide an independent analysis in the form of a letter that you can attach to your case or RFE response, without bias and touching all prongs, with a turnaround time of 10 days so you can build a more effective narrative in front of USCIS. Dozens of lawyers already use Carnegie Evaluations, and now you can do the same as a do-it-yourself petitioner. What are you waiting for? Take a look below. And thank you, Carnegie, for being a quarterly sponsor of this channel. And now, let's go back to the video. Alright, so we are back in the video and we're going to talk about Table B. Is Table B important? Sometimes it is. Why? Because at the beginning of the fiscal year, remember the fiscal year starts in the month of October, USCIS will allow adjustment of status applicants to file their I-485 forms based on Table B. And Table B is more advantageous to the petitioner because it allows you to file sooner. And with filing adjustment of status, you are somewhat protected in terms of status, and also you can file for temporary benefits like a travel card or a temporary employment document. So it's great to file adjustment of status whenever you can, and sometimes Table B allows you. But how can you know if you can use Table B or not? So you go to Table B, and right above the Table B you see a link, you click on it, you go to a USCIS website, and it will tell you what table to use in the current month. It will divide it by family, green card, or employment-based green cards. And you see that in January, they were telling us that you must use Table B, dates for filing, which was good news. However, if you see next month, as of recording of this video, we don't have that information yet. It will be updated in the coming minutes or hours, we never know. So you have to come back here in a while and see what they say, okay? What is the probability? Based on my experience, the highest probability is that this month they will go back to Table A. But again, you have to come back and check, okay? Don't trust me blindly on this, but I'm going to show you why I think that. And it's because if you see the historical data for each fiscal year, with each month showing Table B or Table A, depending on what they allow you to use for adjustment of status, you see that in 2026, we have been able to use Table B so far up to January, which is what we just saw. And most likely we are in that moment where they will do the switch. It will either happen in February or in March, but I think it will happen now because the tables have stopped moving, and we are going to see in a second that that's the case for Table B as well. And so it is a good moment for them to switch from one to the other. But again, let's see if I'm right. Come back and check it yourself. Now let's take a look and compare the two tables. So in January, Table B was showing current for most countries, and August 23 for China and India, and it remains the same for the EB1 category in February. And again, EB2 was showing October 2024 for most countries, January 22 for China, and December 2013 for India. And in February, it's showing exactly the same information. Again, Table B is also stuck, not only Table A, but Table B as well. So that makes me think that most likely they are going to change from Table B to Table A, but we're going to see in a second if I'm right or not. I also tell you always to go and check down at the end, sometimes they leave some notes about what is happening. In this case, there are no notes about EB1 or EB2, but you do have the explanation on why religious workers became unavailable in the month of February. It's related to the law, and so you can read it. But it's always a good practice to come here and check it out, just in case there's notes that pertain to us. And now in a second, we're going to go and see the historical behavior of the visa bulletin. So you not only get these 2 months, these 2 data points, but you see the whole picture. But first, let's go 40 seconds with Marina because she's going to share with us the resources we have to help you as a do-it-yourself petitioner.
This is our website, oscarsgreencard.com. You can find our courses for do-it-yourself petitioners. They are designed to guide you step by step through the whole petition process, from understanding the requirements of each category to crafting strong recommendation letters. And we also share a lot of tips so you can write the best possible cover letter. In every lesson, you can submit your written questions for Oscar to answer, so you're not left with any doubts. By the way, in the EB2NIW course, we meet once a month, so you can ask your questions face to face and we can learn from each other. So what are you waiting for? Join us. We learn together.
Well, thank you, Marina. And now let's go back to my Excel spreadsheet where I track what's happening with the visa bulletin historically. And you can see, especially EB2NIW, EB2NIW rest of world, we are in a time where the wait time is at a historically high moment. We had the month of September 2025 as probably not the worst moment in history in terms of wait time. And this graph really represents for each month, based on that visa bulletin, what was the gap to get there, to become current in the visa bulletin. You see that now we are around 22 months, and the situation has been like this for a couple of years already. I still remember the times where EB2 was current in the visa bulletin, which was before November 2022. When I filed, it was current, and now unfortunately, we moved to times where this is no longer the case. However, as I was saying earlier, we had seen some months of relief in EB2, things getting better when this curve goes down, and that is good. Now, let's see what happens in the rest of the fiscal year, because we were used to good news until now. And in order to keep this video relatively short, we're going to end here today. I hope you found this video interesting, and let me know in the comments, what do you think about this visa bulletin becoming stuck? Also, do you think that they will allow you to use table B for an adjustment of status or not? If you can file adjustment of status, take advantage of that. And in our website, we have adjustment of status packages, and also our courses include modules with video lessons explaining how to file an adjustment of status. So let me know in the comments what you think. As usual, thank you and good luck in your EB2NIW or EB1A process.